If you found yourself trying to make ends meet before your next paycheck arrives, it may be time to change some things about your spending habits. It can be pretty stressful to run out of money before payday, especially if you find that it's happening over and over. In fact, the stress it causes can actually have a negative effect on your health. I've got great news though. There are some tweaks you can make to your spending habits that can help you reduce stress and gain control of your finances. Wondering what they are? In this episode, we'll explore 10 budgeting methods you can use to gain control of your finances. Let's get started. If you're excited about this video, go ahead and hit like right now. It will give me a chance to know that you appreciate the information I'm about to share, and it also will help others find this video. In addition, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you don't miss anything else that I post. Welcome back. So we are going to be reviewing 10 budgeting methods you can use to gain control of your finances. And the first thing you can do is create a list. Having a clear knowledge of how many companies or people you're indebted to and how much you owe is important in gaining control over your finances. As you build your list, be sure to record every loan, every credit card, everything that has an outstanding balance. In addition to who and how much you owe, remember to list the due dates for each of your debts because you need to know when they're going to be due. While you're creating your list, consider these 5 columns: the name of the lender or creditor, the monthly payment amount, the monthly due date of each payment, the interest rate you're charged, and the overall balance you owe. Once you've added your creditors, the next step is going to be to start adding your other monthly expenses to the list. After you know where your money will go in order to pay your debts, it's time to add your needs. These will include things like your mortgage or rent, groceries and dining, car note and gas, and any other major expenses you pay each month. For those expenses that fluctuate every month, take a look at your statements from the past 3 months, or even consider taking a look at 3 monthly statements from this time last year to estimate how much you'll need. For example, your electricity, gas, and water bills may not be the same each month. With that in mind, you'll want to be sure to consider those months where your usage was possibly higher and use the highest amount you've historically spent as your monthly estimate for that bill. Let's take the seasons, for example. As we go into the summertime, it would be a good idea for you to take a look at your bills for the last June, July, and August for electricity especially, and possibly gas and water. That will allow you to make the best possible estimate based on your costs for the same season last year. Provided that the weather is somewhat consistent this year, you should be good to go. At this point, your list should include all of your primary expenses. Step 3 will be for you to figure out which bills are most important. Once you've done that, highlight those so that they stand out to you. Step 4 is going to be to take a look at your remaining bills. These are going to be your non-essential bills. As you review them, try to determine in which areas you can trim back your spending. This will help you find additional money for later. In step 5, you'll need to review areas that you may have been a little free with spending money. And when I say free, I mean frivolous. For example, have you been spending $6 a day on coffee? Well, that's $30 a week you could potentially be saving. Before COVID, happy hour with the girls may have been an every Thursday night thing. I mean, maybe since things have opened back up, you and the girls are back at it. But I noticed that in some circles, happy hour turned into more regular trips to the beverage depots and happy hour for many became happy days, and much more frequently as people started drinking every day throughout the day or earlier in the day. Now, I'm not passing judgment. There is no room for that here. What I am doing is throwing caution to the wind that if this is you, consider taking a look at how much you've been spending on these types of activities and see if there may be a way to scale it back a bit and reduce your spending in that area. These savings can either go towards helping you pay down your debt quicker or build up your savings at a more rapid pace. Step number 6 is simple. You'll want to be sure to keep an eye on your list throughout the day, each day. Anytime you plan to buy something, take a look at your list and see if the purchase you're about to make is something you really need. Now, I'm not saying that you aren't allowed to buy things you didn't plan for. I just want you to consider whether the money you're about to spend would be better used on a debt and get you that much closer to paying it off. Maybe consider rewarding yourself with that special purchase once you've cleared a debt off your list. In step number 7, you'll contact the credit card companies and request to have your interest rates lowered if your accounts are in good standing. So again, if your credit accounts are in good standing, take a look at the interest rates you've placed on your list and try to have those reduced. As you reach out to the banks, make a note on your list of your successes and those who may have refused to change your rates. This may be important later in helping you understand why. For instance, is it possible they may have denied you because you carry a large balance on that card? If so, it is of no benefit to a banking institution to lower your interest rate if your balance is high because they make more money off of you if they charge you a higher interest rate on the large balance. However, if you're in good standing with them, it is possible they may still work with you, so it's worth a try. But if they happen to turn you down, maybe you can revisit a rate change with them later. For now, you want to be sure to stop using the cards that carry high interest rates because they'll do nothing but make you feel overwhelmed as you find yourself continuously trying to dig out of growing debt. Got it? Okay, so in step number 8, it's time to get serious about reducing your expenses. What I mean by this is if you've been paying $180 per month to have premium channels with your cable package, it's a good idea now to consider reducing that cable bill until you pay your debts off. It's time to get serious and start focusing on the things that matter. In step number 9, if you can, it's time to start looking at your current earnings to see if you can shift some of your funds to paying down debt. If you can't, it might be time to consider making more money. This could mean selling things you no longer use or need around the house, or it could mean taking on a second job. Whatever your decision, the plan will be to use the additional money to pay off your debts. While this step might not be ideal, keep in mind that you'd only need to do it just long enough to provide yourself some financial relief. Finally, the last step is simple and you can make it fun. Step 10 will require you to make a record of how you feel and what you think about the changes you've been making. Dealing with changes can be tough, but to make changes to something you've been personally doing for years can definitely be a challenge. Then, adding finances to the equation can make it even tougher. I get it. However, when you start paying off those debts and feeling less weight on your shoulders, you'll forget all about the obstacles you faced to make it happen. Thing is, I don't want you to forget. Sometimes, being able to remember what we've been through to get where we are comes in handy when we go to face new challenges in the future. It can serve as a reminder that while things were uncomfortable for a moment, they didn't stay that way. That's why, in this step, I want you to vlog or journal or whatever you feel comfortable with about how you're feeling about the changes you make as you adjust your spending habits. Turn your cell phone camera on and record yourself along the way. For example, you might record something like, "This is Kay Nicole here, checking in at step 7 of gaining control of my finances. I'm not too sure about this one. I'm a little nervous to call my credit card companies and ask for a rate decrease. I mean, why would they do that for me? I'm about to do it though. Here goes." Or maybe it sounds like this. "This is Kay Nicole checking in for step 7 of gaining control of my finances, and I think I may skip step 7 right now because I'm carrying so much of a balance on my card. I just don't feel comfortable and confident that they'll be willing to work with me right now. So let me get some of my balance paid down and then I'll come back to step 7. Whatever you do, keep it positive. If you're someone who finds herself really stretching to make your money last until the next payday on a regular basis, I want you to consider incorporating these methods into your life. You have got total control over your financial circumstances, and the choice is yours whether you're willing to do what it takes to turn things around for yourself. I happen to know you can do it. This is Kay Nicole. Until later.